A Mint Hill teen accused of planning a violent ISIS-inspired attack has now been indicted. Investigators say undercover officers posing as ISIS members spoke with 18-year-old Christian Sturtevant online earlier this month. And during those conversations, Sturtevant allegedly showed photos of weapons and identified potential locations for stabbings, including a grocery store in Mint Hill. And court documents now show that he will remain behind bars as his federal case moves forward. Lots to talk about here. Let's bring in Chief Legal Analyst Clay Rhodes. So first, let's talk about what is in this indictment.
Well, an indictment itself, the Fifth Amendment says clearly no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury. If the federal government wants to charge you with a felony, it must first convince a jury that there's probable cause that you committed a crime. If they don't do that, they can't get past the front door. Now, you as a defendant can waive the indictment process, and typically in plea cases, plea on something called an information. But an indictment is a procedural step that has to happen, and it's for your protections, constitutionally for you as the defendant's protection. It formally advises you what you're charged with. It lets you know that, listen, now the government must prove these specific items that they're alleging. It's not something new. It's not something outside the document. They have to prove this. And now it triggers authority of the court to take over the case.
All right. So when his attorney came out in this case, he kind of made this seem like, no, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. You got this all wrong. In this case here, what we're seeing in this indictment, these are serious charges.
They're serious charges, but his attorney's doing exactly what you want to do. And I know his attorney very well. Attorney Wright, someone that has practiced in the federal court for a number of years. He's saying that for you to be able to prove this for my client, you'll have to prove his intent. So the items that you're saying he had, these items that you're suggesting government that he was attempting to use and provide to some other foreign entity, they're normal day-to-day items that he would have, and that he was not attempting to give them to some other company or some other country, I should say. And so he's pleading his case not just in the court of public opinion, but in the physical court.
All right, but in this case, too, his attorney, which said this, that he thought he was talking to somebody else, but he was really talking to authorities. In terms of what are your rights there? Because if you feel like if I think I'm having a conversation with you, Khalif, but I'm really having a conversation with a whole agency, and I'm now being led to have more conversations and have more, communication. Is there anything that we need to be able to be aware of?
It seems like what you're asking about is was he entrapped, right? Like, have you entrapped me to communicate and enticed me to say the things that lead me down the direction now into committing some new type of crime? And there's a thin line between that. Most of the time, these undercover investigations, these investigations where they're pretending to be someone else to communicate with you, are right on that line of entrapment versus just typical undercover work. And you'd have to, look at the facts, see all the information, see the discovery. And once you see that, as a defense attorney, you'd be able to say, oh, no, this was either within the scope of what they're allowed to do, or no, they were luring him, suggesting, promoting, they were engaging in encouraging, as opposed to just, monitoring and trying to determine what he was doing.
I don't know if you can answer this, but how common is this type of online radicalization, and what should people look out for? Yeah,
I mean, I think these types of things happen on a frequent basis in terms of communication with other individuals in other countries. Now, the radicalization of it, that will just depend on case by case. But you see this a lot with charges that are brought on the federal government, where it's either money laundering, some type of fraud, or some type of connection with another country that has, had some terroristic attacks with us in the past. And they're looking for these communications in forums, in chat rooms, and on social media. And so I think the communications there now has it risen to the level of illegal communication. What they're attempting to say this individual did is, again, case by case basis.
Quickly, where do you think this is going to go?
I mean, I say it all the time. When you're in federal court, there's a 90+% conviction rate for the federal government, either in trial or plea. And so once they get you into that component, that case, it's extremely hard to beat them outright at trial. So I'd say statistically, it's leading to some type of plea or conviction.
All right, Khalif Rhodes, appreciate your insight. Thank you so much.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.